where to really find these damn rusted gears. I struggled finding these when I needed them to upgrade my gunsmith, and I'm pretty sure lots of other people do as well. I'm probably not alone with saying that for a core item and a really important upgrade in your workshop, this item is quite rare and crazy hard to find. I haven't really found a spot yet where it drops with 100% certainty or super high drop chance. I'm still looking for it. As soon as I find it, I'll let you guys know. But because other items do have these spots, like the battery on Dam or the ked beds and the pillow on Buried City, there are certain loot spawns and loot spots that always have the same loot, no matter when and where you go. So I was curious, maybe someone else found a really good spot.
Struggling to find rusted gears for your level 3 bench upgrades and upgraders? Don't worry, I got you.
So I've checked out multiple videos and they all pretty much said the same thing, but didn't really show results either. And because it was pretty vague and everyone just said, oh yeah, check cars here, maybe this location here, I found one there, I decided to check out every spot that they mentioned in most of these videos and to see for myself which spot could be the best one or is the most consistent to actually farm these rusted gears. By the way, if you guys found a good spot and you want to share, feel free to comment down below and I'll definitely check it out and make a video and let you guys know. Let's start with Bluegate.
Cars, as they also have a drop rate for rusted gears as well. The easiest place to farm cars is in the Bluegate warehouse.
You're going to want to head over to the warehouse complex. You're going to be looking for a whole bunch of cars.
Ground parking under warehouse complex on the Bluegate. Many abandoned cars.
So after watching this video, apparently in the tunnel or warehouse, so this area, especially focusing on the cars within and outside of the tunnels. So I'm guessing from the entire highway and then the checkpoint down here. With the toll booth, there's a lot of buses and cars, and that's exactly what I did. I started around here and then worked myself up into the tunnels, checked as many cars and buses as I could, and tried to end up in the warehouse at the end. I did this 2 or 3 times, and I can tell you I didn't find a single rusted gear. Added to that, I would say Bluegate is one of the more competitive maps, and you are pretty in the open down here. I think the highway was fairly risk-free to loot. Not many people check this out. Most people that spawn in the lower areas just instantly try to go inward or have some quests out here, but the highway is usually fairly chill. But the more you work yourself into the checkpoint, the more risky it gets. Looting cars is quite loud, you know, the breaching, the sound. There's a lot of ARCs patrolling this area, and then as soon as you get into the tunnels, this is an absolute war zone. The warehouse was fairly chill to loot, but there weren't that many spots, so it's also not that lucrative in my opinion. Overall, a bit disappointed from this spot. I did run it 3-4 times. Maybe I'll give it another try, and I did it in a day rate and not a night rate, so maybe that's a difference as well. But I would say this one wasn't that successful and consistent. Maybe like a 5 out of 10, maybe a 6 out of 10, something like that. Next up, I checked out Dam Battlegrounds. So let's check out the videos.
A good chance to find rusted gears is in the scrapyard on Dam.
Dam has a couple of places where you're likely to find rusted gears. The scrapyard, hydroponic, and power generation complex.
Dam Battlegrounds. Go north to the generator hall and look for these 2 buses near the elevator lift.
Dam Battlegrounds. Go to this spot right next to the exfil. There's 2 buses that could have rusted gears.
Search very quickly. Also, make sure you pay attention to the hillside above it. There's cars up there as well.
So apparently, scrapyard and buses are what we're looking for. These are the areas that we're going to check out. There are a lot of buses up here in the north, some here, some right at the extraction point, and I think there's also one here on this broken highway. There's also plenty of cars to loot up here, and then you have the scrapyard down here with a lot of cars, wrecks, and some like these yellow tankers that supposedly can also drop them. Let's start with the scrapyard actually, and I can tell you this was probably the most stressful area I was looking for the rusted gears. There was always someone doing a quest here. I think there's 2 or 3 quests in this entire area, or someone just spawned here early, started looting, and then got spooked when I showed up, and I had multiple fights, or it was completely looted before I got there. So this is like a 4 out of 10 or 3 out of 10 for me. It did not work at all. I even did it without recording another 3 or 4 times. I didn't even get to loot most of the time, and if I did, I didn't find a rusted gear. Then I tried the buses, and I did multiple runs as well. I think this one I did the most, like 6-7 runs, and I actually found one of the rusted gears, surprisingly. I checked out the cars as well, but mainly the 2 buses here, I think, are the ones with the highest chances. Maybe it's, you know, complete RNG and I just got lucky, but out of 4 or 5 runs, I instantly got one of the rusted gears right here. So I can already check buses off my list, and I think this is probably one of the best areas to do it because you can instantly extract. There's 3 buses here or 4, and there's also plenty of cars to loot as well. So if you feel safe or you check the area, clear the area, or you have a hatch key, you can also run down here and extract safely. So I think this is probably, for me personally, the best way to try and find them. I would give this an 8 or 8.5 out of 10. Next up, my favorite map, but maybe one of the worst to try and do this, I'm not sure, Buried City. I was still super skeptical about the cars because on Blue Gate and Dam in total, I already looted, I don't know, 40, 45, 50 cars and not a single rusted gear. But, you know, I wanted to give it a shot. And in this video, they also mentioned the parking garage and the cars and that they found them there. So let's check it out and see it for ourselves. On Buried City in general, I would say there are 2 spots where you can look. According to the video, in this parking garage here in the north, but it is in an absolute hot zone with lots of loot places and lots of very popular areas where people will hover and be near. And then I added one myself because I remembered that this highway is fully loaded with cars and broken down buses. I think there's 2 buses back here. There's one over here, I think. Multiple cars, like I said, and of course also these rusted boxes all across the highway. I was especially hopeful for the highway because of the buses, since we just found some in the buses on Dam. Now this highway run I did, I think, a total of 3 times. Either I started here or I started here and went the entire stretch, and not a single rusted gear, but lots of gas, basic metal, chemicals, rubber, batteries, wires. So if you need these basic essentials, this is a really good loot path. It was very uncontested. Sometimes you'd hear or see someone, but people on the highway are usually doing the quest with these red bandanas or just trying to cross to somewhere else and not looking particularly for a fight. There's a lot of spots you can hide. It's usually higher up, so you see more of the map yourself and, you know, you can be a little bit aware of what's happening around you. And yeah, there's plenty of cars and boxes to loot. It's pretty good. I definitely recommend it. But still no rusted gear in the cars, so I'm still not sure if they even dropped there. Next up, I checked out the parking garage, what the video suggested, and started looting all the cars on every single level. I did this a couple of times as well, I think 2 or 3 times at the very least, and voila! Actually found one of the rusted gears in the cars. So cars do spawn them, and people were right about this. I just think that the spawn rate is super low and it's not consistent enough. Sure, you can check once in a while if you have a spare moment and there's a car on your way, but I think hunting them just in cars is going to be really frustrating. I obviously don't know the official spawn numbers, but it felt like I had to loot 100 cars before I found the first rusted gear. Still pretty cool. We found one here. Now it's up to you which kind of location you prefer or what you think is the safest. I would give Buried City in general only like a 6 or 7 out of 10 because usually it's really hard to extract and there's a lot of exit campers and, you know, it's a very hard map and a lot of fights in close angles or where you don't see people and it's just easy to hide from you. It's a quite risky map overall. I would say the highway is the easier one, so I would give this like a 7.5 out of 10. And I would say the parking garage is way harder. It's like a 6 out of 10. It's super loud. People from the hospital, library, space travel, Galleria, like everyone will hear you that you are looting in the parking garage. The only advantage is that there's an extraction point right here next to it, or like 2 actually, right down here and 1 here. So you can try to dip out instantly if you need to. Now, last but not least, there was also a video talking about Spaceport.
Mainly find them in industrial zones, and they always have the chance of spawning in crates in this area and can also just be on the side. The main place I find them is on these yellow machines.
Spaceport has 3: vehicle maintenance, container storage, and rocket assembly.
So apparently, according to this video, there are 3 major spots to hit, which are the rocket assembly, the container storage, and the fuel control. Maybe also the vehicle maintenance because it also has the mechanical and industrial sign. I personally also added this spot down here. It's another highway with lots of buses. There's even a bus, stop or a graveyard here with I think 4 or 5 buses. They weren't always lootable though, so I don't know how, lucrative it is. But there are plenty of cars and like these broken down tankers you can try to check and loot. I checked everything here twice because it's quite some time to loot all these locations, like 4 locations plus the cars, so a total of 5. I only ran it twice and I didn't find a single rusted gear. Now that could be really bad RNG, and I might do it again if you guys want me to, and check out individual spots multiple times specifically. But for the runs that I did, neither the buses and the cars down here, nor the storage and the boxes in these areas had any rusted gears for me. So sadly, I couldn't really definitively prove or disprove any of these spots or give you guys a definitive answer as to where to easily find them and go to. I definitely confirmed that both buses and cars do drop them for sure, still do. and that buses probably have the highest rate. Now, off stream and without recording, I also found one more rusted gear in one more of the buses, and I found one more in these broken down containers in Dam. I hope you guys enjoyed and I could help in any way. I'll keep you guys posted if I find anything better or more consistent. And also, if this video hits 10k views or enough comments asking for more extensive searching and experimenting, I'll make another video running all these spots at night to see if the loot is any better and the rusted gear has a higher chance to drop. So that's all from me. Happy looting and see you guys soon.